economic prosperity, this explosion had to be quite a blow.
Yes, it was quite a blow.
Stand by, everyone. We are on next in 3, 2, 1.
The wife and I arrived early on September 18th, checked in at the Fairfield Inn, and headed downtown. We enjoyed walking on the Riverwalk, the boat tour, the Alamo, and a nice lunch that afternoon. San Antonio is a beautiful city and caters to the tourist. Day 1, September 19th, saw us on the Silver Arrow bus headed for Fredericksburg, about an hour-and-a-half ride through the scenic hill country. Our tour guide kept us informed with area information and entertained with jokes. It poured down rain for a while, but stopped before we arrived. The destination was the Admiral Nimitz Museum and the Pacific War Museum, which are adjacent. It was so informative and well done that it was hard to believe. A person could easily spend a day or two looking at and reading all the information on the displays. We had about 3 hours and time for lunch at one of many excellent German restaurants. Then it was back on the Silver Arrow for the ride back to the hotel. About 50 people were on the tour. That evening was registration and reception at the hotel with great snack foods and beverages. There were lots of old pictures passed around and reminiscing about the good old days at Kirk Newton. Many old friends were there and new friends made. Day 2, Friday morning, September 20th, and it was off bright and early to Lackland for the dress review and graduation ceremonies. We had reserved seats in front of the grandstands, and to our surprise, we were introduced and asked to stand up and be recognized. The moment was outstanding. The ceremony was very impressive, and it kind of brought a tear to the eye, especially to those who graduated almost to the day 50 years earlier. After the ceremony, we walked around and viewed the aircraft displays, then went to the base museum, which was very nostalgic. The museum curator met with us and gave us insight as to what had been done and plans for the future. Following that, we had a nice sit-down lunch at the Officer NCO Club before returning to the hotel to get ready for the evening. Friday evening, we were on 2 buses headed for the 7A Ranch about an hour away. We had a superb Texas barbecue and entertainment complete with a hayride. The trick roper, gunslinging, and western swing band was as good as you can find. The evening was perfect with a full moon, and even the mosquitoes behaved. The ranch owners were most gracious and took time to answer all questions and make you feel at home. It was a very nice evening. After returning to the hotel, a bunch of us sat up swapping stories, most of which were true. Day 3, September 19th, what a wind-up. It began with a briefing at 10 a.m. by the Air Intelligence Agency. While walking down the driveway to the meeting room, we could hear a bagpipe playing and thought, what a coincidence. Upon rounding the corner, we were greeted by Colonel Cook and an Air Force captain playing the bagpipes. What a surprise and such thoughtfulness. We all enjoyed it with the Scottish ladies leading the singing and requests for special songs. This could have gone on all day. The briefing was superb and gave us insight into the mission and what the AIA is all about. It was special in that they led off with the history of Kirk Newton and showed pictures taken during our era at Kirk Newton. There were people in the pictures who were actually in the audience. The wife and I came away duly impressed. I believe most of us were thinking if we could just get back in and be part of it. It made you proud that we played a role in the past. At 5:30, we were on the buses, again bound for the dinner dance at Lackland. We were at our tables socializing when we heard the bagpipes again. To our amazement, the San Antonio Pipe Band marched in, dressed in full regalia with bagpipes and drums going full blast. It was a standing ovation with clapping and cheering. They proceeded to entertain us royally, with everyone joining in. There were a lot of moist eyes at times. The dinner was very well done, and the music was our era, and at the right decibel level. What a nice night. As a result of a vote, the 4th reunion will be held in Biloxi, Mississippi in 2004. The last bus left Lackland around 11 p.m., and we enjoyed an impromptu and entertaining ride back. I understand the riders on one of the buses coming back from the 7A Ranch enjoyed the same spontaneous fun. The bus driver said he would never forget that ride. Many of us sat up and talked into the night, and Sunday morning it was still going on with reluctant farewells and see ya in Biloxi. Enough cannot be said about the hospitality and staff of the Fairfield Inn. They were great and the coffee was always on. The tour organizers did a great job in that everything came off as planned and access to Lackland was as simple as riding the bus through the gate. Throughout the reunion, Charles Jenkins was doing his usual professional job videotaping everything. He plans to produce an edited videotape that will be available for purchase in the future. I can't wait to see it. Regards, Harry Hat, a.k.a.
Harry Hathorn.
That was the first one. They got the shower after
Hey, Taylor, what story is that? Christine who?
Christine Keeler.
That was about what year?
1961. You remember when you dropped this off down there? They had parties and
You had
all
the
the guys
Bentley?
we hooked up with Silk.
You had the
We
Bentley?
played Chicks Head, and they had a big party and we was all they getting a whole basketball team.
I remember that.
What's the guy named? I think they interrogated you too. You was in the same party. Hey, some people commit sideways too.
Good?
Yeah. But that was weren't they got discovered a month after that. I was playing Chuck. We used to get up to do our transportation up there for us. I played for them in 61 and 62.
So weren't they all combined? Wasn't it ABC? Alconbury, Bunny Thorpe, and Shelby?
No, we played against
ABC
I
Spartans.
played with Greg and Parker and all
Yeah.
that guys. Yeah.
I think what team was separated time.
Boys and Franklin.
Yeah. Very.
That sausage.
Oh, sometimes.
Reaching was good.
Bobby, why don't you take this chair, man? Sit on that.
Hey, you guys.
How you been doing, man? How many kids did y'all end up with?
Two.
Two?
Yeah.
Boy and a girl or?
Yeah.
Well, that's all they make is two cans. So.
You were right on both occasions.
Yeah.
Wanna be John?
Yeah, once you get that dynamic combination, it's time to stop, you know. Actually, our first was a boy, and the second was a girl.
Rocky,
and we had
both
two
of you
boys.
here, man. Wow.
He's been here once.
Oh, rock ass? My thrift savings is what I got kicked. You know what I'm saying? Right. Now, like for instance, I did a thing like so I told her, I said, I need some cash money for like clearing the land and you know, stuff like this here. Right. Right. Right.
You can draw. But the thing is, the money you've amassed through the years, you gotta be able to find out how you can take that money without somebody getting you.
Right.
Because they're gonna take it now.
See, because when I figured, when I borrowed on that,
They're gonna take that money.
by the time I retire, you know, I can, it'll be back in there.
And you know, when I retire, I'm gonna do different than most people. I'm gonna develop a spend plan. I'm gonna spend every damn penny I got. And, yeah, spend plan. And when I get broke, they can just send me over to the VA. And if there's anything left, the kids can have that. I'm gonna spend every damn penny I got.
Yeah.
That's the only one.
I'm sure yourself.
Let me tell you something, brother. You should file disability every year.
I know that. That's what I've been preaching.
I started with 10, I'm getting 50.
Well, I started with 30 and I just filed after 18 years. So I don't know how it's gonna come back.
When my back's feeling now, I need 100.
Yeah, but you know, I'm feeling just as good as when I was 17, because that ain't what it's about.
If they come back and deny you, resubmit.
That's right.
It might be some new favors in
That's
there.
right.
You understand?
They come out with some new.
Yeah.
I was born in 35. I'm gonna get one more bust one of those sausages there. Just right here to these groceries. These groceries is out
4 or 5 years old now. So she's at least 7.
Go around this way, Hannah.
Yeah, I'm Rocky Chisholm, here in San Antonio, originally from Boston, Massachusetts. Welcoming the fellas into town for this reunion. Good being here.
Hi, my name is Betty Fury Chisholm. I'm originally from Malden, Massachusetts. I'm married to Rocky Chisholm for the last almost 15 years, and that's why I'm here in San Antonio.
My name is Ray Wilkerson, and I'm having just a peachy, jolly time. I am the guest of the Honorable Ray Taylor and his new wife, Marie, and I'm here with a lot of people that I haven't seen in many years and some people that I have never met before, and this couldn't get any better. And I just want to say that I'm thankful to see so many comrades, ex-service people, and everybody here, and it don't get no better.
My name is Ted Brown, and I'm happy to be in San Antonio, Texas once more.
Hi, my name is James Taylor, known as T, and I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And it's so good to get together with my friends and my extended family. And we propose to have a very enjoyable time, as we always do when we get together. And I thank everybody, and hope Godspeed to everyone. Have a safe trip here and to the homes. And thank all of you for being here as guests in my home.
Now, Terry, here's what happened. I went out with one of my girlfriends to hang out in San Diego, and we just sat in the bar waiting to eat.
Okay.
And when the laddie came to order drinks, I said, I'll have a beer, son. And we ordered. So he came back, the beer, and he says, where are you from? I says, I'm from Edinburgh, Scotland. He says, so's my mother. So I looked at him. I said, what's her name? He says, Norma. I says, Norman Lee. Norma, because I remember Norman. I said, I remember your dad. He says, are you kidding? So I wrote on a napkin, I said, when you call your dad, and I wrote Frank Momery, Frank Drew, a bunch of names I remember, and I said, when you talk to your dad, how is he, by the way? I saw him a couple of times after.
I don't remember, lady.
I know, but see, I met you when I was married to Frank Momery.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
a long
okay.
time ago,
Yeah,
Norman.
right.
I mean,
Yeah,
we're
right.
talking
See, because Frank and I.
40 years ago.
Okay, yeah, Frank and I email each other. You know, he's remarried.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
And I think she's a professor at college up there in Maine.
I've no idea.
But anyway, he told me. I can't think of it.
But
John
anyway,
did say he met us guys, but he didn't tie it in.
yeah,
Like
that's
this.
what happened.
And
That's
Chuck
what
tied it
happened.
in when I
And
got
then I
here.
told Chuck last night, I told everybody says that story. Because I thought, a small world.
Yes, it is.
Here I am. He's such a handsome man. And he's a nice, he is. He's a really nice young man. Yeah, oh, I'm sorry she's not here. She said, no, I don't understand. But how is John doing?
John is doing
he still
great.
in San Diego?
Yeah, he's still in. He ain't coming back to Texas to visit and go right back.
Yeah.
He said he does not like Texas.
You know, this is the first time I've been here, but it's really
Okay, this is
nice.
the first one I came to.
Really
also,
nice.
Right.
I like
Chuck been
this
trying to
town.
get me. Chuck been trying to get me for a while to come, but I just.
Yeah, we all sat talking last night.
But yeah, he told me, and then I said, no,
I
this
saw
morning.
Nora.
I met Nora, and she told me the same thing.
I saw Nora through hearing about the reunion. And then I saw Jenkins, and I remember Jenkins, so he didn't remember me either, but I remembered him, so I sent him an email, and I said, please, I said, I'm trying to find Nora. I said, give me her number. So he called Nora and said,
Why you gonna find her?
he called Nora and he says, is it all right, to give her, so here I found Nora. But I've been looking for her for 30 years. Since we were tiny babies. Portobello.
Oh, Portobello. You grew up in Portobello too?
No,
on the High Street. Bingo.
High Street.
Okay. All right. Okay.
But it's so nice.
Well, I'll tell you, it really is. Like,
Nice
it's
to
good.
see you, Norman.
too. Hey, look.
Now,
He's still on it. He's still on it. Yeah.
How come Norma didn't
She did what? Couldn't talk Chris and Rob into coming in.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. Don't ask me.
Because for the girls, it's just as good
Right,
fun.
right.
I know it. And see all the old pals.
I agree.
We were sitting there like, oh, wait, well, she can.
Now listen, when you talk to John, you'll have to tell him that
Now,
here it is 100 years later.
Write your name down.
You'll have to tell John.
Now, how long
that
ago was this?
That has got
About a
to
year.
be, no, it's longer than that.
Okay.
It's got to be about 10 years ago. I
Ted, move your feet, please.
at least.
Move your feet.
Oh, you're getting old, Norman.
Hey, I am old.
Ted, move your feet.
I'm older than you. Okay.
Oh, no, how old are you?
64.
Oh, I'm 62.
Right. 64. I retired 3 times.
Have you? I'm not retired yet. I'm still
No,
going.
still working.
You could retire. You could retire.
Yeah,
start
but
doing
I'm not.
something.
I've got too much energy to retire.
I know.
And I like the bucks.
Hey, what you need to do is go get you a husband and set
Oh, no. Oh, no. No. No.
No way.
I'll just get another
No
dog.
way.
I've got dogs and cats
I know.
all over the place.
That's me.
I can tell a dog
Got
what to
house
do.
full of cats and that's me.
Oh, come on.
Trust, no, I never, no, I never married, I never remarried.
Never remarried?
No, never will. No. Although there's been a few visitors over the years.
Oh, boy.
But
ago, General Washington enlisted the assistance of Baron von Steuben, a distinguished Prussian officer, to help instill discipline. Baron von Steuben arrived at Valley Forge in February of 1778, facing an army of several thousand undisciplined, half-starved, wretched men in rags. To correct these conditions, he set to work immediately and wrote regulations designed to teach the discipline of drill to a model company of 120 selected men. Discipline became a part of the military for these individuals as they learned to respond to commands without hesitation. As they mastered the art of drill and began to work as a team, this group developed a collective sense of pride in themselves and in their unit. Watching this model company perform, observers were amazed to see how quickly and efficiently the troops could be massed and maneuvered into different battle formations. Later, members of this model company were assigned throughout the regular army to teach drill. Through this simple emphasis on drill, that the effectiveness and efficiency of Washington's Continental Army were improved. In 1789, Baron von Steuben wrote the American Army's first field manual, the Regulations for Order and Discipline of the Troops of the United States. The drill procedures placed into effect at Valley Forge were not changed for over 85 years, and many of these same procedures are still in use today. One form of drill is the salute. Since early times, men of arms have used some form of salute as an exchange of greeting, the most popular of which is the hand salute. This exchange has been preserved and its use continued in all modern militaries. Throughout today's ceremony, you will see the airmen presenting arms as one form of the military salute. The civilian counterpart of the salute is manifested in various ways, such as placing the right hand over the heart when the national anthem is played, or raising the hand when greeting a friend. The military salute is given in the same manner as a gesture of recognition and a friendly greeting to a comrade in the honorable profession of arms. To maintain proper decorum and respect for events such as this, we ask that you abide by the following standards while you are here. First, there will be times you will be asked to stand for the invocation, the playing of the national anthem, the playing of the Air Force song, and reciting of the oath of enlistment. Second, we ask that you remain silent during these times, reflecting on the price that has been paid for our freedom. Third, we ask that you pay respect to the flag during the national anthem and as it passes during the review. Military members in uniform should stand at attention and render a salute. Civilians and military members not in uniform should stand and place their right hand over their heart. After the last note of the national anthem and after the flags have passed, you may then return your hand to your side. As the flights pass in review, applause is appropriate, but please limit that applause so that others may hear the narration of the names and hometowns of the military training instructors. Please reserve the strictest respect during our oath of enlistment. During this oath, airmen pledge their lives to support and defend the Constitution of our country. For the safety and comfort of those around you, we ask that you remain in place until our distinguished guests have left the reviewing stand. As a reminder to all our visitors, please refrain from viewing the parade from the green tents. However, if you experience any heat-related problems this morning, please feel free to take shade and consume water under these tents. Restroom facilities are located in the brown buildings to your left, and during this morning's ceremony, smoking and consuming alcoholic beverages is not permitted. Finally, please do not go onto grassy areas when taking photos during the ceremony. Now I'd like to take a minute to inform you on specific flight locations on the parade field, as viewed from the bleachers from left to right. The first 4 flights are from the 331st Training Squadron, Flight 677, 678, 679, and 680. Next are flights from the 321st Training Squadron, Flight 687, 688, 689, and 690. In the center of the parade field is our color guard detail. To their left is the Drum and Bugle Corps, flights B743 and B744. They're from the 323rd Training Squadron. The flights responsible for carrying our national, state, and territorial flags, flights 683 and 684, are from the 320th Training Squadron. The next 2 flights are from the 320th Training Squadron, flights 681 and 682. Followed by flights 691 and 692 from the 324th Training Squadron. The last 2 flights to pass and review today are from the 323rd Training Squadron, Flight 685 and 686. At this time, please find a place to sit before the ceremony begins. Thank you and enjoy today's ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of our reviewing official. Please remain standing for the invocation given by Chaplain Boyd.
Let us pray. Eternal Father, we pray that your blessing may rest on these young men and women that we have come here to honor today. Instill in them a lasting desire to maintain and defend our great nation's highest principle of freedom, justice, and dignity for all. Make them this day aware of the great responsibilities being placed upon their shoulders and those of their generation. Bless them with wisdom, courage, and compassion. Bless also those who have so unselfishly given of themselves to train these young men and women and to prepare them to stand at the gates of freedom. In your holy and everlasting name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Boyd. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Brigadier General Fred Van Valkenburg, Commander of the 37th Training Wing, and Colonel Sharon Dunbar, Commander, Air Force Basic Military Training, welcomes you to a Basic Military Training Graduation Parade. The airmen who will pass a review today have completed a demanding 6-week program that provides Air Force units throughout the world with trained airmen. Part of this training includes the time-proven concepts of military customs and traditions, of which this parade is a vital part. Military training instructors will lead each flight. These instructors are responsible for the training, morale, and well-being of each airman assigned to their flight. We are extremely proud of these young men and women who have answered our country's call to duty by joining the United States Air Force. Today, we are honored to have with us several distinguished guests, beginning with the host of today's parade, Air Force Basic Military Training, Colonel Sharon Dunbar. The Adjutant General for the State of Montana, Major General John Prendergast. The Air National Guard Assistant to the Air Education and Training Command, Major General Harold Cross. The Senior IMA to the 2nd Air Force Special Operations, the Command Chief, 37th Training Wing, Chief Master Sergeant Edna Tart. The Command Chief, 120th Fighter Wing, Chief Master Sergeant Stephen Lazuski. Superintendent, Air Force Basic Military Training, Chief Master Sergeant Billy Blackburn. The Chief Enlisted Manager of the Air Force Operational Test and Evaluation Center, Kirtland Air Force Base, New Mexico, Chief Master Sergeant Ronald Roy. The members of Kirk Newton Air Force Base, Scotland Reunion Group. Members of OCS Class 60C. These personnel graduated from Air Force Officer Candidate School here at Lackland in 1960. Although time does not permit us to introduce all our distinguished guests, the 37th Training Wing is proud to welcome each of you. We hope you enjoy today's ceremony. Each year, the nation observes National POW MIA Recognition Day on the 3rd Friday of September. As we observe this special day, we reaffirm our commitment to doing everything possible to account for the 93,000 Americans who valiantly fought but did not return home from our nation's wars. Whether they perished in action or in captivity, these Americans served our nation with valor, pride, and love of country. In preserving our freedom, they struggled for theirs. Many armed only with their faith, their courage, and the indomitable American spirit. Through it all, they remained true to themselves and to the spirit that makes our nation great. We must never forget them. In today's parade, one non-commissioned officer represents and honors those who could not be with us. He occupies a position directly to the right of our state flag mast. In their memory and to their families who still wait, we dedicate a moment of silence. You are not forgotten. Our commander of troops is Senior Master Sergeant Mark Merlo, Training Superintendent, 323rd Training Squadron. Major General Prendergast will review today's parade.
Attention to order! C-10 for today, and Commissioned Officer of the Day, and Sergeant Piston Me. I command Lance, Brigadier, General, and Valkenberg. Officers! It's turn! Here!
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of Ruffles and Flourishes. Thank you. Please be seated.
Last right on.
Ladies and gentlemen, the graduating airmen passing in review today represent a portion of the 40,000 recruits who will complete basic military training this year. Lackland, the gateway to the Air Force, and the 737 Training Group provide all recruits the essential military training to become motivated members of the enlisted corps of the greatest Air Force in the world. The military training instructors are responsible for the indoctrination, development, and discipline of the airmen. They have dedicated endless hours to ensure all training objectives are met. Today's graduates have proven through academic studies, military training, physical conditioning, and the development of teamwork concepts that they are ready to take their place in the United States Air Force. We would also like for you to notice our national, state, and territorial flags. As you can see, the flag mast is a unique formation within our ceremony. As these flags pass in review, please stand and render the appropriate courtesies for our national flag and remain standing for the state and territorial flags. Once the flag mast has passed in review, please be courteous of others and be seated in order to allow our guests the opportunity to review the flights as they pass in review. Our commander of troops is Senior Master Sergeant Mark Harlow, Training Superintendent, 323rd Training Squadron, Hotel, San Gabriel, California. The Squadron Commander is Senior Master Sergeant Keith Pickler, Training Superintendent, 324th Training Squadron, Hometown, Cleveland, Ohio. Flight 677 from the 331st Training Squadron, led by Technical Sergeant Felix Perez, hometown, Guadalajara, Puerto Rico. Flight 678 from the 331st Training Squadron, led by Staff Sergeant Melissa Holliday, hometown, Jackson, Tennessee. Flight 679 from the 331st Training Squadron, led by Staff Sergeant Todd Ristow, hometown Merrill, Wisconsin. Flight 680 from the 331st Training Squadron, led by Staff Sergeant Troy Shadow, hometown Lawton, Oklahoma. Flight 687 from the 321st Training Squadron, led by Senior Airman Chad Rosendale, hometown Findlay, Ohio. Flight 688 from the 321st Training Squadron, led by Staff Sergeant Jeff Green, hometown Glendale, Arizona. Flight 689 from the 321st Training Squadron, led by Technical Sergeant James Rose, hometown Grand Forks, North Dakota. Flight 690 from the 321st Training Squadron, led by Staff Sergeant Mike Rogers, hometown Weatherford, Texas. Flights selected to carry our national, state, and territorial flags are from the 320th Training Squadron, Flight 683 and 684, led by Staff Sergeant John Johnson, hometown Jonesboro, Georgia, and Staff Sergeant Jonathan Boylan, hometown Kansas City, Missouri. The B Squadron Commander is Senior Master Sergeant Lori Mills, Training Superintendent, 322nd Training Squadron, hometown Pontiac, Michigan. Leading the missing formation carrying the POW MIA flag, Technical Sergeant Theodore Guillory, hometown Lake Charles, Louisiana. Flight 681 from the 320th Training Squadron, led by Technical Sergeant Randall Miller from Stow, Ohio. Flight 682 from the 320th Training Squadron, led by Staff Sergeant Henry Tate, hometown Fort Pierce, Florida. Flight 691 from the 324th Training Squadron, led by Staff Sergeant Jermaine Johnson, hometown Miami, Florida. Flight 692 from the 324th Training Squadron, led by Staff Sergeant John Myers, hometown Indiana, Pennsylvania. 685 from the 323rd Training Squadron, led by Technical Sergeant Keith Brown, hometown Clarksville, Tennessee. Flight 686 from the 323rd Training Squadron, led by Staff Sergeant Crystal St. Dennis, hometown Elwood, Pennsylvania.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
That I will obey the orders of the President of the United States.
That I will obey the orders of the President of the United States.
And the orders of the officers appointed over me.
And the orders of the officers appointed over me.
According to regulations and the Uniform Code of Military Justice.
According to regulations and the Uniform Code of Military Justice.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations and welcome to the world's greatest air power.
I was just about ready to throw them away.
Symbol.
That's the group to the right.
Right.
My name is Ray Morales, retired Air Force, E9. I was stationed overseas in Kirk Newton back in the early 50s. When I left this active duty, I went into the reserve program and started flying as a radio operator on both of these aircraft that you see behind me. The one on my left over here is a C-119 flying boxcar, twin engines. And this one on the right is a Constellation EC-121. Both of these were this was the first and this was the last aircraft that I flew in as a radio operator.
For how long?
I was on Flying Stars for 15 years.
15 years?
Yeah, stopped flying in '74, stayed in the reserve program, and finally retired in March of '93.
What do you now
my
do?
40-year career from October of '52 to March of '93.
Anything else you'd like to tell us?
No, I'm a happily married man with a wife and 3 children, live in Naples, Florida, enjoying retirement.
Jim Tumulty, Airman First Class, 12 weeks of basic training in Sampson Air Force Base. They sent us down to Biloxi and we flew on one of these C-47s. Had to stop in Atlanta to refuel. Then we flew on into Biloxi. And we spent the whole year down there in Biloxi, Mississippi. It was a great, great thing.
Okay, when did you go to Kirk Newton?
Kirk Newton, we went over in November of 53.
53, right.
Okay, and could you tell me something about yourself?
J. Carl Thomas, Staff Sergeant, went basic training at Sampson Air Force Base, flew from Sampson Air Force Base to Biloxi, Mississippi on a C-47, refueled at Washington, D.C., then went to Kirk Newton, Scotland in November of 1953, left Kirk Newton in December of '54, and flew a C-47 from Scotland, from Edinburgh, Scotland to Marseille, France, and Marseille, France down to Tripoli, North Africa.
Yeah, all these guys, Rick and
Monument to the Medal of Honor.
Medal of Honor Memorial.
First name is Eddie Rickenbacker.
James
Hey,
Doolittle.
that's neat.
Yes.
World War II. James Doolittle, Lieutenant Colonel. A lot of famous names here.
Yeah.
Some big names.
Tell me that story again.
Pardon me?
Tell me the other story again.
Oh, about the
How many missions he shot in? What
Oh, Colonel Jabaro?
Yes.
Yeah, during the Korean War, Colonel Jabaro flew missions over Korea, flew F-86s, shot down as many aircraft as he could. He was an air ace. After his 30 missions, or maybe a few more, he came home, and on his way home, going up the Florida Turnpike with his wife, with his daughter, he got killed on the expressway. Congratulations, sir.
Where you going now? You know where you're going?
Tech school? Yeah. Defense Language Institute over at Presidio Monterey.
Oh, wow. Great.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Yes.
I'll bet.
Will make a career out of it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
Good.
It depends on how much I like it, but probably.
Yeah.
Well, you can't beat it. I'll tell you right now.
Mom and Dad are proud.
They'll give you a free education if you want it. You can walk out with college credits. Roof over your head, 3 square meals a day.
That's hard.
They pay all your insurance, your dental, your medical. You can't beat it. I mean, they took care of me for so many years, and they'll take you all around the world.
Hey, Horace Crow, Airman First Class, Kirk Newton, from November of '53 to August of '56. We didn't have any runways, much less any airplanes, but this is the Blackbird, the same type of airplane that President Kennedy found out from the reconnaissance from this that Cuba had missiles.
Oh, this is? This is one of those planes?
This is one of the planes that flew over Cuba. It's my understanding.
Spy plane.
Spy plane, yeah.
That's right.
It was my understanding that this plane, the R-71s, they look at the size of those engines. This is the closest I've ever been to one. It was my understanding that these planes, when they took off, there had to be a tanker up in the air to refuel them right away because they used their entire load of fuel on takeoff. But then they had an altitude that was so high that there wasn't a missile or anything that could bring them down. However, we all know Gary Powers is rumored that he was at RAF Station Kirk Newton too. He flew a U-2.
Right.
And they also believe that that U-2 flew so high that no missile could get him. The story that I heard was that he said after he came back to the United States that it wasn't a missile that got him. Somebody had planted a bomb on his plane, sabotaged it. I'm sure we would have found out more about it, but I think Gary Powers became a helicopter pilot for one of the radio TV stations, and unfortunately in a crash, he got killed.
Elma Phillips. Pat Simzak.
Dave Simzak. Art Ketchum. Oh, Jack Smith.
Jack Smith Jr.
Ted Brown.
Clarence Arnold.
Joyce Levander.
Levander. Richard Levander.
Danny Selway.
Nick Selway. Bob Riles. John Phillips.
Elma Phillips.
Don Keefe.
Riles.
Carl Thomas, Glen Riddle, Pennsylvania.
Richard Thomas, Glen Riddle, Pennsylvania. Pauline Slopek, Ashland, Massachusetts.
Jim Tumblety, Fresco, Pennsylvania.
Agnes Tumblety, Cresco, Pennsylvania. Jane Morales from
Naples, Florida.
Herb Marshall.
Bernice Marshall.
Harry Hathorn.
LaRue Hathorn.
Max Gilliland.
Dwayne Benetton.
Eleanor Donovan.
Frank Donovan.
Faye Swartz.
Ray Swartz.
Eddie D.
Betty D.
Everybody.
You just won us twice. This time.
Tim. Nice to meet you, Mr. Jenkins. Finally.
Really enjoyed talking to you several times.
Yes. So I asked Roger if you were coming.
Well, I told you.
Of course, we're starting in the lobby area of the hotel. Make them believe that you you're in the crowd.
I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be bright.
Jack being greeted as he's coming off the bus. This is the cowboy that's standing there waiting to greet us as we come off the bus.
The thing I have the most admiration for is I'd be on the field while they're warming up, and the quarterback's trotting backwards faster than I can run wide open forwards, you know? And they're just trotting, and I'm like, watch your step, Bob.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Following this evening. All right, thank you. And we are equally delighted to have the Kirk Newton group.
That's our group.
My name is Laurie Graff. This is my husband, Ken. My mother-in-law, Hazel, is in the pink. And our children, Justina and Colin, are over at the soft drink area. Welcome to our ranch and to our home.
Thank you.
You all are on an authentic South Texas cattle ranch. Ken and I represent the 5th generation to live and work on the ranch. We have a history that we are very proud of, and I would like for Ken to take a moment and share a little bit of the 7A Ranch history with you all.
Good evening.
Good evening.
First of all, on behalf of my family and all the helpers that we have here all the time, to the veterans, men and women that served our country, we thank you very much for what we're able to pass on to our children. Thank you. As Laurie said, our family's real deep in history here. We represent the 5th generation that's lived on this piece of land and worked it and tried to earn a living out of it. My great-great-grandfather came here from the Alsace region of France and Germany in 1842. Took about a 3.5-month boat ride across the Big Drink and landed down here at Victoria. They made their way to San Antonio, put an expedition together, and moved west, 47 men, to settle the town of Castroville, which you all passed through tonight. He was one of the original founders of that town.
Speak up a little.
Okay, that better? Yeah! All right. He ran the ferry on the river, was the first thing he did. Then he got in the freight business, and he hauled freight in a wagon with a team of oxen from San Antonio. He worked for the military hauling freight. Was a teamster with 2 oxen and a wagon from San Antonio to Eagle Pass, Laredo, Del Rio, El Paso, Santa Fe, New Mexico. That's about as far west as they went. That's a long trip now. I'd hate to make it behind an ox. It would be. So it didn't take him, after a few years he decided he wanted to be what everybody promised him they could be here, a cowboy. So they traded the oxen and the wagon and the chains, yokes, everything freight related, 300 to 400 head of cattle, and moved west to right here. His original homestead was about a half a mile north of here, and the successive generations have stayed behind, and I'm sure most of y'all know how estates work. Not everybody has stayed behind. So here we are. Things have changed. It's not the 1800s anymore, and you can't make a living with a cow, a pig, a few chickens, and a garden. So my wife is going to discuss what we've done different in the last few years and where we hope we're going.
Beans, brisket, barbecue brisket, beans and potato salad, and all the trimmings. What we would like for you to do, our serving lines are set up over here. There's one on this side, the north side, and then there's one on the south side. So if you'll make your way around this oak tree here on either side and line up, your silverware and plate will be handed to you, and if you will please give that person your meal ticket. And speaking of meal tickets, from the Kirk Newton group, I have Jean Adarenge. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing the last name correctly. Okay. And B. Pelham. And then J. Wilkerson. J. Wilkerson. All right. Dinner is served. Thank you once again for coming out this evening. We hope you enjoy your evening at the 7A Ranch. Please let us know what we can do to help you have an enjoyable evening.
I hope you know what you're taking a picture of now.
Excellent, thank you, sir.
Is that all right, ma'am, or a little more?
That's fine. No, not a little more.
Right over there is the condiments, pickles, and onions, both sides of the table.
Security room?
Well, it used to be in Kelly, there was a security service.
And they kept standing Yeah, this is good, Charlie. This is good.
Hey, Charlie. Don't you just take pictures. You get something to eat, too.
Oh, I will. I will.
They're not heavy, they're my brothers. But no, they are real. Hold on. Just do not pull the hammer back. I won't do that.
Oh, they're pretty heavy, huh?
I don't know if I want two girls holding guns. I'm thinking that whoever pass it over this way.
That damn thing ain't loaded, is it?
One of the rules here said the guns shouldn't be loaded, neither should the cowboy, but actually one out to it.
Well, we don't mind the cowboy being loaded.
I got some blanks in there, man, but you're fine.
Well, that's okay. The cowboy can be loaded.
Thank you. Thank you. That was nice. That was nice.
And of course, this is right up our alley. My
Jack, what happened to Ray and them? What happened to Ray? Ray and them. Yeah, I did too. Yeah, I think Gene might have won something. I think Gene might have won something, but they didn't pay.
Now, if you want to be a trick roper, that's the first one you want to learn. And people always want to know if this is a trick rope. You can do this with a Magay, a poly, nylon, anything. You're just using centrifugal force to keep that loop from closing. This is called a butterfly loop because it floats back and forth kind of like a butterfly. You ever saw a butterfly that drank too much? It looked like that. A little bit wobbly, isn't it? You reverse the direction of it and do what they call a three-corner butterfly. You take it just like this and right back around. It's all about showing off and outdoing the other cowboy. You take it all the way around behind you. If you can outdo the other cowboy, it's your duty as a trick roper to brag about it until he feels bad. And if he can do that, you might want to outdo him by taking around the other way. And just keep going until you find something to get him on. You can do what they call an arm juggle, where you're just like this. Back forward. Got two double-leg batteries in it. Y'all watch real close. This is where it gets a little fancier. Take it behind your back, change hands. When you put it in your left hand, you go back the other way. Right about here, the crowd goes wild. Some cowboys, a rope makes a better pet than a dog. It does. I got a dog on my ranch that's half pit bull and half border collie. Not only will he bite your leg off, but then you can send him to go get help. But every time I ask, how many of y'all like to go dancing from time to time? Well, y'all might recognize this one. Y'all watch real close. There's half of a two-step. Now, if you move your feet a little quicker, you can do the other half. Or one of the hardest tricks you'll ever see is one I picked up down in Old Mexico. It's called Punto Quintalón. I think it means heel and toe, but I'm not sure because I said it to one guy and he hit me. But y'all watch my feet. It's the laziest way in the world for a cowboy to jump out of a rope. You get it like this, and when you tucker it out and you're ready to jump out, you just kind of rock your feet, and you're out of there. Pretty lazy, isn't it? I don't want to brag, I'm one of the only cowboys in the state of Texas that can do that trick backwards. And it's because my whole family's backwards. My mom's president of DAM, which is Mothers Against Dyslexia. And then I came along, so they made me Doug. And they said, Doug spelled backwards is good if you can't spell good. Last year we did some family history checks, and we found out that it even goes back farther than that with us. My uncle was in the Army. And he got a Dear John letter, and he thought he'd want a new tractor.
John and Deere.
My brother, though, he's finally come out of it and is doing great. He come back from Vegas last week, whole bed of his pickup truck overflowing with quarters. I said, Bob, you done good. He goes, yeah, I couldn't do no wrong, because every time I stuck $1 in that machine, 4 quarters come out. We're pretty proud of it. Now, y'all watch real close. We'll see if we can get any backers on this thing. Here we go. Y'all got to excuse the jokes. My dad says I was cut out to be a comedian, but I was sewed up wrong. Let's bring it all the way around. Now here we go. We're going to slide right underneath it. And to really make it interesting, let's try to get out on one foot. There you go. How's that? Appreciate it. Thank you. Y'all want to see me jump through it? Yeah! Okay, go up real close. Everybody in a long time.
Okay.
A couple weeks anyway. Hey, what's your name? Dawn, very good. You would stand right there. Keep your feet real close together. And y'all don't try this at home. Go to a friend's house. But this right here used to waste half a day putting up his gun. He could have arrested 5 more bad guys in a 30-minute show. We wouldn't look good. One of my favorites, and I always love doing groups like y'all because y'all usually remember him. Johnny Mac Brown. How many of y'all remember him? There you go. I do parties in San Antonio sometimes, and they go food. And he was one of the only cowboys who could truly go out there and do all his own tricks. He didn't have to have a stuntman waiting in the wings for him. And his most famous trick was one called the fingertip drop. You take that gun, Acts like that. That's his movie for quite a while. How about Maverick with Mel Gibson? Did y'all see that one? Yeah. He did one called The Texas Roll, and y'all might remember it in a movie in the 50s that Yul Brynner did called Invitation to a Gunfight. That's when Mel Gibson first saw that. Take the gun, you flip it up in the air, and you catch it like that. And that looks really good in the movies, but in real life, if your gun's flipping through the air and that other fella draws, you're probably going to regret it. Did any of y'all see Tombstone a few years ago? That was a great gun spinning movie. The rest of it wasn't so hot, but I like the gun handling. Johnny Ringo got it going like this, and he had a little time, so he took it around like this, and like this, and like this. And he looked to see if the other guy hadn't drawn yet, he could keep going a little longer. Thank you.
be able to see it? Yes, ma'am. Yes, okay. Is that it? Does anyone else have two pieces of ticket? One says that it's a raffle ticket, the other one says keep this ticket. Right? All right, we're going to start the drawing. I asked that the first winner go over to the table on my far left with tartans at. Pick yourself one piece of Ma'am, we trust you explicitly, but would you please bring your ticket by so that I can check it?
I would have done the same thing.
I trust you, they don't.
Okay, over there.
Yes, ma'am. The lady standing over there waiting.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Or 6 of those. Six of these. Okay. Now, what we did was we took them out of the paper. We've got a whole packet. This is kind of heavy, so you have to be careful with it. Very nice. Okay. There you go. I think that'll be fine. I'll find you another couple of pieces after the drawing. Thank you very much.
33005?
No, dear. It's 633059.
I got something from Scotland and a leftover. I like to check my sticker. I think I can see.
You're going to make me check. 633059. The lady is a winner.
I'm Mrs. Harry Hat. Harry Hat.
Oh, this is Mrs. Harry Hat.
Get out of here. Mrs. Harry Hat.
Congratulations, Harry. Oh, we're lucky.
Harry. Branded glasses. Yeah, okay. We'll take that. Oh, how wonderful.
What a nice lady. She tried to get close to me. 633071.
Baby, say hi. Baby.
No, Roger, I said say.
Don't turn it over, turn it over, turn it over.
Kid.
Art Ketchum.
Art Ketchum.
The prize actually belongs to Art Ketchum. He was not able to be here, and he gave Roger his ticket to bring here in case he was a winner.
I knew that was going to happen.
Thanks, Roger.
Oh, he'd have been in big trouble if he'd I told John, if Arctic comes up, you better not say a word.
But yeah, he had the 6.7.
Oh, you did? Oh, no.
He pulled out the thing and says, hey, what's that number?
Oh, no.
And I said 633-067.
So do we take it back?
No.
Please allow us to do that.
No.
Please.
No. Let it go.
It's the bull on the table.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jenkins had ticket 67, and he's busy taking pictures and did not get the opportunity to check it. However, he declines the gift that goes to Mr. Artcastle. Thank you ever so much. Very nice.
You should check your ticket. I can't believe it.
Suck out.
Put the sound on you too.
Oh, hey. You can't say unsaid what you said.
That's not necessarily.
Hello, Mayor.
Let us all say thank you.
Yes, sir, for starting. We appreciate that.
Thank you. Margaret, you can tell your kids you went to an official land.
We sure did. And they'll be sorry they were.
Official plan.
I thought you wanted a little more.
That's right, get the young folks.
They did it in blocks for 26 years.
But I don't want to go back to Vegas now.
Why, Tickling? That was money?
No, I
No,
won.
you won.
She won. I won.
How's Chuck tonight? Fine. Good. Great.
Yeah, it's very good. Delicious.
How's the ticker? Air police or something. Very good. Very good. Actually, most of them, they got jobs that was good from the outside.
It looked like, it did look like a river house. I know. That's the inside. I would have died. Oh, yes, I'm died. I'm going to do those. But you know, I think if you give them that permission to come in and do it.
Yes, right? Exactly. Just repeat.
California Ray and
You did.
Johnny right off the bat.
Oh, no.
Right. Where my
Okay, no, here.
We told him not to bring you anything until you arrive.
Chuck gonna get you down for lifestyle forever.
Oh, okay.
Chuck does a job. You might be on NBC tomorrow or Hello Today.
Well, I expect to see myself.
That's right. You will see yourself.
That's right.
'Cause this man is
And I'm going to say this is attributed to...
man with the camera.
Got me right there. That's why it's grown so big.
Not with food in my mouth.
You know where it started, don't you?
Hi. Yeah, she had pins on her chest before Nora got here. Nora didn't know that.
Oh, yes, Charlie. Hi, Charlie. Hi, Charlie. Hi, Charlie. Staying out late again tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Charlie. How you doing there, man?
How's everyone?
Fine.
How are you tonight?
I'm wonderful. Thank you. I hope. I don't remember if I ate last time in Las Vegas. Hello there.
Hi. Hi, Betty.
Yeah. Everything looks wonderful. I hope you guys are having a wonderful time.
Oh, absolutely.
Good.
Absolutely.
How you doing?
Good.
Who are you, sir?
So could you please?
I'm from Kerrville.
Who?
Kerrville.
Okay. Good.
Thank
You
you.
having a great time?
You bet.
There's that man again.
Creeping around on it years later.
Charles the Creeper.
I won't ask you guys your name this time.
Wouldn't have the mic on anyway.
Oh, yes, I do.
One of the Southern states. One of the Southern states.
Yeah, that's right. Most people thought you two were brothers. Well, we were, really.
Food's good.
Hey, Charles. Hello there.
Very good, Charles.
Back again.
Away.
Hey, Charles, I want to see this on the Boston CBS News.
Okay. They wanted to put the Las Vegas on, but I said no.
They just never slept.
Oh, yeah.
That's good, very good.
What is it?
Yeah, delicious.
What do you have?
Chicken. Chicken cordon bleu.
I have the same thing. I have to get back to my table.
It's delicious.
You
yeah.
missed your crystal. Are you going to get your meal now?
Comprehensive
Just for greedy, I guess that's their job to look after these things.
He's the Italian place up there to get back.
You guys did a wonderful job.
Thank
I'd like
you.
to congratulate the committee. You did a wonderful job.
Thank you.
Yes.
Coming from you, we're really pleased to hear that.
Really nice.
You guys did a class act.
Thank you.
But yeah,
We'll drink to
I
that.
think the pipe band was excellent.
Oh, great idea.
Yeah, super.
Oh, yeah, there was two British.
Good to you. You know, if that comedy can go fine.
65?
It was, I'm not quite sure.
One of the law.
Yeah, that's where he met his wife. Senior moment. I remember.
I thought I'd come to this table and something to remember.
Yes. No, that was it. Thank you so much. The dancing up Morningside, the snobby one. The dance hall. What was it called? Dance hall. The Cavendish? No, it was the Cavendish.
Oh, you do that?
Yeah, I made them for,
Jack, maybe we can help me on something. I consider myself to be fairly educated on games.
Ernest says, do you want some more?
Want some more?
No thanks, it wasn't very good, right?
Takes a lot of work.
It does.
Are you going to eat today?
Right.
Last table.
They tend to be smaller meals, very specific to what they say.
Yeah. I know, I'm glad I got mine done now. But the
It's
thing
very
is,
much a mental work.
I even to wear a necklace on my neck, sometimes it irritates, my the back of my neck. And so I'd say, well, I'll take one.
remember when you weren't there, when I didn't care for anyone but you. I swear we've been through everything there is. Can't imagine anything we've missed. Can't imagine anything the two of us can't do. Through the years, you've never let me down. You've turned my life around. The sweetest days I found with you. Through the years, I've never been afraid. I've loved the life we've made, and I'm so glad I stayed right here with you through the years. I can't remember what I used to do, who I trusted, who I listened to before. I swear you've taught me everything I know. Can't imagine needing someone so. But through the years it seems to me I need you more and more. Through the years, through all the good and bad, I know how much we had. I've always been so glad to be with you. Through the years, it's better every day. You've kissed my tears away. As long as it's okay, I'll stay with you through the years. Through the years when everything went wrong, together we were strong. I know that I belong right here with you. Through the years, I never had a doubt we'd always work things out. I've learned what life's about by loving you through the you've never let me down. You turned my life around. The sweetest day
These would be neat too, though. He recorded that now. What did you say now, Brandy?
Yeah, what happened? Picked up a few there.
I thought I was going to have to get that notarized.
Are you taking pictures of me, Chuck? Hello, darling.
You still love me, carry on the thoughts I made. I put you say I love you always. Say I just like a paperback novel, can't stop yourself. When you reach the part where the heart is strong, the hero would be me. Where chains upon my head, and I would never read that book again because the ending's hard to take. If you could read my mind, love, you would tell me that's just like a book can be, 'cause the ending's hard to take. I went away like a moving star gets burned in a three-way strip in a number 2. Louis Queen playing.
Oh, is that Chuck Jenkins taking photos again?
Memories light the corners of my mind. Misty watercolor memories of the way we were. Scattered pictures of the smiles we left behind, smiles we gave to one another for the way we were. Can it be that it was all so simple then? Or has time rewritten every line? If we had the chance to do it all again, tell me, would we? Could we? Memories may be beautiful and yet what's too painful to remember, we simply choose to forget. So it's the laughter we'll remember whenever we remember the way we were.
Sergeant in the United States Air Force. I was born and raised in Youngstown, Ohio. And I put 25 years in the Air Force, and right now I'm a senior manager with Lockheed. And all I can tell you is that Jack is one of the most dearest friends I've ever had. I met Jack, I went to Scotland, Edinburgh, in 1961. And I met him whenever he got there, I think it was 62.
I got there, I was there in 61.
All right, he was there ahead of me.
Yeah.
That's something we forgot. But we used to get together, have a drink, had great respect for each other. And I'm sitting here looking at you now and his beautiful family, but he's one of my most dearest friends.
Yeah,
the best thing I can say is one of the best men I ever met in my life.
Thank you. So all Daddy's partners.
Leo Lewis, and I live in Tuckahoe, Indiana now. And Doc was one who really helped me when I was in Scotland a lot. I really appreciate Doc.
All right,
Always been a role model.
All right, good. Thank you. All right, next.
All right, this is Bill Allen. I was just a young whippersnapper when I came. When you get out of jail, you know what I mean? Huh? When did you get out? Yesterday. A weekend, But anyway, glad to see him anyway.
Okay, great. Thanks, Mr. Allen.
My name is Ted Brown, and I knew Jack from 1962 to 63. One thing was distinguished about him was he was the only man on the base that wore a beard. I could always recognize him from a distance. Also, he lived in the same barracks that I did. And also, I was the baker there on the base who fed him when he come to eat in the dining hall.
Wow.
I've seen him just about every day in the 2 years that I was there. Very nice person.
All right, thank you.
Herb Marshall. I knew Doc Smith from, well, we were in the same squadron. I was dental, he was medical. And he has helped me out a few times, which I won't get into that either. But really, how we found him, he was roaming around Kurt Newton, and we grabbed him and said, hey, we need a medic, so we went out and gave him the job.
Great. Thank you so much. These are all Dad's buddies.
Thank you.
Thanks again.
My name is Norman T. Lee, and I was in Scotland, RAF Station Kurt Newton, from 1958 to 1963. And that is where I met your dad.
All right.
Your dad took care of us on the base.
All right.
Okay? And he was a good friend. And this is the first time I've seen Jack since he left Scotland.
Wow.
In 1961, 62? Okay, well, I left before you did. I left in 63. Right. And finally took my wife and my kids back to the States so my mother could be with me. But that's how I met your dad, young lady.
Great. Thank you so much. Great.
Enoch Xavier. I was in Scotland from 1959 to 1961. I worked on the flight. I used to play basketball. And that's about all I can tell you about myself.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
My name is Charles Jenkins. I was in Kurt Newton in 1961, 1964. And I met Jack Smith around 1962. Jack was the only person I knew in the service that had a beard. And I think that's what attracted me to him, and then we started talking. And I asked him, how could he have the beard in the service? Because we all had to shave every day.
Right.
So he said, well, he had to go to the doctors because he had a skin problem or something. And I always thought that was quite unique.
Right.
And it's been nice. And I've been trying. In fact, Jack is the reason I started the reunion. I have a letter from Jack where he wrote me about 25 years ago saying, why don't we get together and get our group together and have a reunion someplace.
Wow.
And he has set it up with Denver, Colorado. I don't know how it came out, but I could make it myself. But I thought about it for years afterwards, and I said, I think it's time to do it. Wow. And that's when I did it. Thanks to Jack.
Mississippi. All right, I'll be there.
All those goody pops they had to do.
I'll be there. So it's going to be in Mississippi today. I'll be there for sure.
If they could get somebody to put it together.
Now, how many years from now? 1 or 2? 2. I'll be there.
All right. I'll see you.
Yeah, that's right. That was
Brother B. Yes. I was King Leo.
You guys at the food service with?
Oh, Leo ain't saying he's drunk. No. Leo, you still doing the boxing workout and shit?
No, man.
You look like you in good shape.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. You look like you can still move around. Now, I pump iron every day, 45 minutes. I work out.
I bought ribs, chickens.
No, I'm serious. I know you can do it. I work out every day.
Yes.
And after that, I break that up.
Yeah, we understand that.
Margin of 16 votes, they got 38. The next closest city got 22. The city that won is Biloxi, Mississippi.
How you doing, driver?
Oh, fine.
Are your ears? Are your ears wet or tingling? Yeah, what is it called? See, I don't know about them Scottish folk. You're too young to listen to all
I'm going to remember this night.
You remember. You'll no soon forget this one.
Even in my dreams.
Even in your dreams.
He'll talk about that lady sitting in the back of you. You couldn't understand the words she said.
Oh, I don't know, he's doing pretty good. I keep seeing his ear go. So he's going, oh please Lord, let me understand what she said, I might get another good John, but you know I'm just teasing you, don't you? Oh dear.
Having a good time.
Good time, that's right, good time. Offend no one, just a good time. But if you ever decide to go to Scotland, get ready, that's all I can say. Get ready.
She said she was a stripper.
You know what?
That
I've
was
never
so
heard of
good.
anybody that went to Scotland and came back and said they never had an absolutely wonderful time.
You'll see a
And the
lot of
people were wonderful.
You'll see a lot of
friendly.
changes, though.
That's what that girl was telling me tonight.
See, the changes are
good.
No, I didn't like the changes.
Because it's too metropolitan, you mean?
No. When you remember the streets and the buses, the place where you used to work, and then you go home, and the buildings are gone, and everything.
Well, you see, they always say you can't go home again. I think that's part of what they're saying.
Well, you know, remember the bridges with Patrick Thomas?
Oh,
It's just a bunch of slum stores up there.
It's a bunch of what?
Slum stores. It's terrible.
Princess Street isn't Princess Street anymore.
Well, Princess Street's not much better. There's a lot of...
See, my mother was she worked at all the best stores on Princess Street. She was very good.
Jenner's is still there.
Jenner's is still there?
That's the one and only one. Yes.
My mother worked at, the last job she had there was selling furs, but I can't remember the name of the store.
Remember C&A's? C&A's No, C&A's is gone now. Oh, I know that. Marks bought that.
Still got that?
Marks and Sparks is still there.
Marks and Sparks. Yeah, Marks and Sparks. Now, my mother ran a whole chain of E-Tams for a long time. You remember E-Tams? Yeah.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
that clothes.
Yes.
And you're talking these straight skirts. Oh, I used to alter them when I got them home.
Oh, so I said, no, take this. And she said, no. I said, no, and she go. Because she was a seamstress. I didn't sew. Then she took him home and took him in for me. She wasn't far behind me on some of them things, she was.
But it's still nice to see it though,
I've got to go back one more. For some reason,
you need to go
just
back.
I need to go back one more time, and I never thought I'd say that. Because I don't think of Scotland as my home, I think of America as my home. I'm an American. I feel that. But I don't know why. You know, just you go by one, and then this girl's talking about Christopher and Vicky, and I thought, oh, and then they started going, help me, Lord. I started crying, and I said, are you all right, Hen? I said, what did you think of Christmas? She said, come and have a beer. I said, and she said, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. I said, no, I'm okay, just I'll be fine. They just hit me, you know.